Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Madden NFL 25 Indianapolis Colts franchise. We're finally here with episode 2. I know it's been a while, but life gets in the way. So I had a lot of bit going on. But we're finally here on episode 2. I'm excited to get this episode and this series underway. If you don't know what happened last episode, I don't really know why you're watching this one and skipping the first one, but we went through and skimmed through the entire preseason, kind of judging how I want this roster to be built. The biggest concerns were quarterback and tight end. And quarterback, we are going to go Andy Richardson to at least start week number 1. Obviously, it's potentially subject to change whether or not he will go into being the starter the rest of the way through. But that's just a part of having a questionable quarterback like Andy Richardson. But the other position battle has to do with tight end. I'm not really sure where I want to start between Tyler Warren and Mo Ali Cox. I think they're both really good players. I think, honestly, in terms of route running, Tyler Warren is a little bit better and he's a little bit faster, but he also is a better blocker. So I think going into game number 1 or week 1, Tyler Warren will play the fullback position, and I think Mo Ali Cox will be his starting tight end. As far as the other position concerned, at the will position, with Jalen Charles out for a little bit of time, Sengu Olubi is going to start at that position. I want him to play more of a pass rush, playing against the run kind of role. I think that's kind of what fits his skill set the best right now. I think that's where he'll mostly shine to start the year. I don't really think he fits in terms of the pass coverage kind of field. He just doesn't have enough speed and coverage for that. But there's only one other position I know I only mentioned there's like 2, but the other position I think has some question marks is the cornerback position. The starting 2, Javarius Ward and Kenny Moore, are obvious, but number 3 and 4 are a big question. Mickey Blackman is out for 4 to 8 weeks at this point in time, so he's going to miss a bit of time. So Jalen Jones, Xavier Edwards, and even Jonathan Edwards could see a lot of playing time, proving to be who could be the corner 3, maybe be the second guy at, the guy next up behind the guys like Javarius Ward or Kenny Moore. If they need to step up to the plate, Jalen Jones did play the most out of those 3 that we just mentioned. He did have 2 interceptions, so likely he will at least be our go-to for week number 1. We're going to take a look at the Miami Dolphins, who will match up with in week number 1, and they've got a pretty stacked roster if you ask me. Now, of course, at the receiving core, they've got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle being the dynamic duo. And during the offseason, they traded with the Steelers. Well, they made a deal with the Steelers to acquire Minka Fitzpatrick at the cost of Jalen Ramsey. Look, the cornerback situation is not exactly the best, especially since they are without Kader Coho. I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name wrong. I'm not sure, for the entire year with the MCL tear. And maybe that loss of Jalen Ramsey might hurt this team a lot in the secondary. Or maybe Minka Fitzpatrick will prove to be the key that they're missing. Take a look at Tua Tagovailoa. He's been, dare I say, an up and down experiment for Miami these past few years. Last year, he was kind of on the injury bug and didn't play a whole lot. 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but the Dolphins have not proven much of anything like they should. They should be the team in the AFC. That hasn't been the case. Tyreek Hill has now a rocky relationship with him, and this marriage might come to an end once his contract expires, or maybe even before that. I doubt any team will really want to pick him up at this point in time, with his contract being so big. But let's look at the injury report. And Mickey Blackman, originally, he, as you guys saw, his injury was 4 to 8 weeks, but it bumped up to 6 to 10 weeks. So his injury got a little bit worse. So it's nice to see that Madden has made this change to where injuries can get worse over time. I think that's pretty interesting. The Dolphins have quite a few injuries. They did carry over injuries from the real NFL. So some of those injuries that are in real life are going to take place on at least on this season. Some of them are glitched to 0 weeks, so don't pay attention to that. We're going to gear up week number 1 of the 2025 season, as we're going to host the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa, as we're going to get underway week number 1 of the new 2025 NFL season. This is going to be return. Nice juke move, and he's going to be taken out at the 25 as if it's just kicked in the end zone. And Anthony Richardson is going to start week number 1, 23 years old. He's got a lot to prove in his last 2 years of his rookie deal to see if he can stay the starter in Indianapolis. 2nd and 9 for Anthony Richardson, trying to find a man up the middle. That's caught by Alec Pierce. He gets rocked, but only after he reaches the first down marker. Following play for Indianapolis, handoff to Jonathan Taylor, goes up the middle, taken down behind the 50 for a nice little first down gain. Jonathan Taylor, he's kind of a questionable figure on this offense too, not in terms of his talent, but in terms of what the Indianapolis Colts plan to do with him. That's a 2nd and 10. Anthony Richardson will throw this one up the middle. That's caught by Mo Ali Cox, as he'll make his way to the 21-yard line for a Colts first down. And as I mentioned, Mo Ali Cox is going to start at tight end, at least to start this season off. I don't know for sure if he'll stay that way the entire way through, but I like Tyler Warren being at the fullback position for now. I know he wanted to be a starter at tight end, but he's still starting, just not getting regular reps. 3rd and 8. Richardson to the left side finds Pittman as he'll carry his way to the first down marker, resets the downs at the 20-yard line. And the secondary is going to be a big question for Miami the whole year through with no Cater Coho. I'm sorry if I said his name wrong again. Big handoff to Taylor as it's a loss of 3 from Richardson. He can run the football. I mentioned he's one of the quickest running quarterbacks in the entire league. And he ends up getting taken down by Zach Sealer at the 10 as he gets there quick. Dolphins have a pretty interesting front 7. 2nd and goal now for the Colts. Handoff to Taylor, and he's in the end zone, and the Colts will fire first with the touchdown. First one of the year, and it's for JT Jonathan Taylor. I will say these celebrations are pretty damn insane. The simple fact that there are no flags on these celebrations, but a nice way to open up the year for Mr. JT Jonathan Taylor, who might have questions about whether or not he wants to stay in Indianapolis Colt, as the Colts will kick this ball off now to the Dolphins, and they are going to return this with the new kicking rule, and he is taken out at the 25, similar spot to the Colts. If you look at Tua Tagovailoa, he's now at the age of 27, and he's got 4 years on this contract, and even if the Dolphins wanted to get rid of him, there's no real room to really do something like that. That's 2nd and 2, and that's handoff, but loss of 4 as the Dolphins go absolutely nowhere. Nice play by the free safety Nick Cross. Now it's 3rd and 6 for the Miami Dolphins, who are kind of similar to the Steelers. They're built to win now, but they're not really built for the future with all these big contracts they have on their team. So we'll have to see how the Dolphins do this year. They need to kind of win now. As Tua has the ball, he's going to try to buy time. He's got a lot of it. He has to get rid of it before he's sacked. Great job by the secondary to hold out and force an incompletion. It's now 3rd and 7 on the side of the Indianapolis Colts. As Richardson backs up to the right side, he finds Pierce, and he is short just a few inches. The Colts will have to punt the ball away. Back to the Dolphins on their first drive. Did absolutely nothing. Handoff to Devon Achane, and if that tackle isn't made, that's likely for 6. So game-saving tackle down there. Now it's 2nd and 4 following play. Tua to throw. He's sacked. Loss of the very yards that he gained, and it's Zaire Franklin who makes the play. And as was recording, he mentioned that Justin Herbert is not a top 5 quarterback. No comment. But anyway, it's now 3rd and 10. The Dolphins need a big play. Achane in motion. Tua to throw. He's going to go to the front up the middle. That's caught by Tyreek Hill. And that's a first down. He's their best receiver for a reason. I mean, Tyreek Hill, the cheetah. And who's guarding him? Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones got beat a lot during preseason. That's a handoff to Hill. And that's a loss of 3. He's met with a wall And that'll close out the first quarter. Indianapolis leads by a touchdown. A nice throw to the left side. And that's caught for a first down and a lot more. And it's Tyreek Hill again. This time Travarius Ward gets beat on the play in one-on-one coverage. And Travarius Ward, this is his first player in Indianapolis. He's got to prove that he's not aging, even though obviously he is aging. But third and seven, sorry, and he's sacked. Tua sacked again. Loss of 7, and it's Jalen Jones who makes up for his mistakes on the last play against Tyreek Hill. And I'll force Miami to have to kick a field goal. Great play again by the Indianapolis defense, which I accept for is the better side of the ball for Indianapolis. 2nd and 2. Quick throw. Somehow that throw is complete for Mo Alley-Cox, and somehow it's a first down. I don't know how the hell you make that play, but this is Madden. I guess you can't question it. 3rd and 6. Anthony Richardson throw. He overthrows his target, and that's a first down, possibly a touchdown if that's caught. Dolphins catch a break, hand off to Achane, shakes off a tackle. He's in the secondary. It's down at the 31, his best run so far of the day, as they're about halfway through the second quarter. And something, you got to make those kind of tackles if you're Indianapolis. We're now 3rd and 5 at the 46. Tua with time to throw up the middle. That's caught by Hill. He's got a lot of room to run. And that's a first down and a lot more. And guess what? Jalen Jones, again, but this is the cheetah. You can't expect Jalen Jones to really keep up in one-on-one coverage, because that's realistically what he was in. Jalen Jones finding himself in these big one-on-one matchups, and in reality, we shouldn't be putting him in these matchups. The 1st and 10 play action fake by Tua, and he is taken down again for the 3rd time. And this time it's the safety Andrew Bynum. They managed to get half that yardage back. It's 3rd and 9. Tua with time, and he's going to end up throwing it up the middle, checking it down. And they are short of the first down marker, but they're going to go for it on 4th and 1. Hand off to Achane, and he barely gets it. I think he did get it. Some would say he didn't, but it's a first down, new set of downs for the Dolphins as they look to capitalize. Throw to the right side. That's caught by Jalen Waddle. Beats out Travarius Ward, and the Dolphins now take the lead. A bad route by Travarius. It's one-on-one coverage. Play action fake. Ward just had the bad angle. Great cut up field by Jalen Waddle. And that's going to give the Dolphins the lead late in the second. There's an end around play, jet sweep for Downs. He goes nowhere, loses 1. And it's now 3rd and 11. Colts now find themselves down in the trenches. Anthony Richardson the throw. He's going to go with a screen play for Diggins, and he will not get the first down as Miami uses a timeout. Trying to get themselves time to get into the end zone. They do get the ball back after half, so if they can score here, they got themselves in a great position. And this punt is completely thrashed, hit the side of the foot. It goes absolutely nowhere, and the Dolphins are set at the 44-yard line. And Tua only has 2 incompletions up to this point. Up the middle of the left side, that is caught for a first down by Tyreek Hill again. 1st and 10 at the 17, finds Waddle on the outside again, who again gets the best of Travarius Ward. And a touchdown on the same exact play. And this time Ward was nowhere near him, airmailed by Tua tackled by Loa, and it is literally the same play that he scored on earlier. Now the Dolphins found themselves up 17-7. Nice RPO play for Josh Downs. He'll go out of bounds. You argue it's a screenplay, one or the other. But the Colts find themselves at the 43. Anthony Richardson with time to throw. Deep downfield, right side. That is incomplete. For Alec Pierce in double coverage, Rasul Douglas is there to make the play. He's currently the best corner on this team with no Cater Coho. We're trying to test the secondary up the middle. That's a nice play up the upfield Michael Pittman Jr. first down. Indianapolis uses the timeout. But they find themselves at 2nd and 17. Dolphins playing deep. Hail Mary throw. Anthony Richardson going to go try to get points on the board. They will not. Or maybe even a DPI. And that will close out the first half. Dolphins up 17-7. 2 big touchdowns to Jalen Waddle made this possible. The Colts are playing good defense, but they let some big plays slip away. And we'll get into the halftime report to see what's going on around the league. And first game up, we have the Chiefs and the Chargers. In week number 1, Justin Herbert, he'll go downfield the right side. That is caught. You can practically say he was mossed. That's Ladd McConkey, I believe rookie of the year last season. And the Chargers will beat the Chiefs 24-21. Like how the Chiefs lost in real life. Then we'll head to Philadelphia to see the Cowboys and Eagles go head to head. Dak Prescott, first game without Micah Parsons. He's going to call his own number, go to the right side. Then he scores, and the Dolphins on the road beat the defending champs 27-17. And then we'll head to Mercedes-Benz Stadium to see how the Falcons are faring against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tampa Bay Bucks led the NFC South. And here's a play by Bijan Robinson, untouched, and jumps over a defender. And the Falcons find themselves up 14-10. Crazy plays you see in the halftime report. Other games around the league, we see that the New England Patriots are besting the Las Vegas Raiders, and also the Jets are blowing out the Pittsburgh Steelers. And look at this game, is not really as one-sided as the score may seem. It's only 17-7. Both Richardson and Tua are playing pretty well. The difference is Tua's got 2 touchdowns as opposed to Richardson, who doesn't have any outside of, well, doesn't really have any. As we head to the third quarter, 3rd and 4 for Tua as he makes a throw to the right side to Jalen Waddle. He's got 2 touchdowns today, by the way, if you didn't know. But if you didn't know, then you weren't paying attention. As the Dolphins get another first down, but they find themselves in a 3rd down scenario again. Tua the throw, trying to buy some time. He is sacked, laid out, and it's DeForest Buckner who makes the play. Loss of 5. Dolphins have to punt the ball away. Now Indianapolis has a chance to put points on the board. Play action fake. They'll check it down to Mo Alley Cox, who's got a lot of room to go. And he'll be taken down at around the 43-yard line. And this year is a year for him really to show what he's got. He's never really been a consistent starter on the Colts. So let's see how he does. Outside handoff to Jonathan Taylor as he gets into the secondary. That's a nice first down for him. Very next play action fake for Richardson. He's got nowhere to go, but he'll run out the pocket, go out of bounds, get the first down, had absolutely nowhere to throw it. And the Colts looking at field goal range, handing off to Taylor, and he bumps it to his teammates. It's a loss of 2. I believe that's Brooks, Jonathan Brooks, I believe. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that, who makes the play. And now it's 2nd and 12. And now Richardson will throw again. He'll check it down to, to Goodson, the 3rd string running back, and he'll make his way to the 13-yard line, giving Jonathan Taylor a bit of a break. And the Colts are moving the chains. 2nd and 7 at the 10-yard line. Jonathan Taylor back in, fakes a handoff, and Richardson is in the end zone untouched. And as I mentioned, he's one of the fast quarterbacks for a reason. He called his own number, said, "I'll do it myself." And the Colts now trail 13-17. Look at this play again, and they fell for it. Thought it was going to be a play action fake or really a run for Taylor. They didn't even think that Richardson would keep it and run it on his own. And with the extra point made, it's now 17-14 in favor of Miami. Miami did nothing on their next drives. We're back with the Colts. And then Richardson is sacked, loss of 10. A big play by the defense. It's now 2nd and 20. And yes, sir, that is Ashton Davis, the former New York Jet, that makes the play. good to see that he's on a team like the Dolphins that can actually really compete. Sorry, New York. But it's now 3rd and 21 after the Colts lost one more yard on the 3rd down play. Downfield to the left side. One-on-one coverage. That's incomplete. And that's just great defense there by Jones. Now 2nd and 10 in favor of Miami. Nice play upfield for 9 yards. 3rd and 1. Can the Dolphins convert? And the answer is no. As the defense gets there, it's DeForest Buckner who makes a big play. And that's really on Achane. Achane hesitated to go up the middle. If he didn't, that's likely a 1st down. But back on the Colts side, toss play for Jonathan Taylor. He goes upfield all the way to the 30, about 40-yard line. And now we find ourselves at 3rd and 11 for the Colts. Richardson trying to buy some time. He'll run away. And he is pushed out of bounds after a gain of 8. And that will force Indianapolis to punt again. Not a lot of offense in this 3rd quarter. The only score came from Richardson on that run. Hand off to Achane. Spins off a defender. He'll be dropped at the 30-yard line. And Grover Stewart is shaken up on the play. And he will ultimately be fine. He will miss a few plays, but he won't be out for the entire game. And then the following play, this new set of downs, last play of the 3rd quarter, by the way, 11 seconds remaining, man in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Achane. He's got nowhere to go. And that's Chad Muma, loss of 2, closes out the 3rd quarter. Colts trail only by a field goal. We'll see if Miami can take full advantage and put some more points on the board, or the Colts can make the ultimate comeback. As I mentioned, not a lot of offense in this 3rd quarter. The Colts defense doing a really good job at keeping the Miami Dolphins only to 17. But you could also argue the Dolphins suck, which, granted, I wouldn't blame you if you said that. But the Colts aren't exactly that great either. But 3rd and 3 now for Miami. Tua's going to throw again up the middle. That is dropped. And one of the few mishaps we've seen by either team all day. As Miami will end up punting this ball. This would be inside the 20. And a nice return to the right side. He gets absolutely crushed on the return. But hold on, it's 2nd and 9. Richardson back in the game. Not a lot of passing yards from either team when you consider the sacks. And that should have been complete, but couldn't hold on. And Brooks makes another big play. It's now 3rd and 9 for the Colts. Richardson to throw again. Finds Tyler Warren, who shakes off a defender. And that's his first catch of his career. I mentioned if we'd start him at fullback. I didn't say we wouldn't play him at tight end. And this is one of the many times you'll see this guy making catches. Another 3rd down now at the 40 from Indianapolis. Richardson to back up. He's going to airmail this throw, but it's a little bit overthrown for Warren. And now force Indianapolis to punt yet again. With a little over 9 minutes left. This one's going to be returned by the cheetah, Tyreek Hill, as he stiff arms a man. And he's down inside the 30. It's now a little under 9 minutes left to go. Hand off to Devon Achane, He makes 2 defenders miss. And he's dropped at the 45. One of the bigger runs all day. Really by either team, by the way. And that's just one of the better ones. 3rd and 10 now for the Dolphins. Tua's going to try to throw this one. And he does find Hill. But for basically nothing. So the Colts will get the ball back. Still only trailing by a field goal. Handoff to Warren at fullback. He gets the first and a little bit more. This is one of the areas where I feel like Tyler Warren will shine on this offense. He's being impromptu running back downfield to the left side. That is caught. Michael Pittman. And the biggest throw all day. Richardson has been pretty accurate, 21 of 30. And if he didn't go out of bounds, he could have potentially scored there. Now 3rd and 4, letting time run, handoff to Taylor. And he had the first down, but great job by the defense to just box him out. So the Colts will have to kick a field goal from 30 plus yards out. and it's good. And they tie the game up with a little over 3 minutes left to go in the game. The Dolphins get the ball back. They reach the 2-minute warning. It's 3rd and 7. Colts need to stop, and they will not get it. Is caught for a first down. Tried to reach for good measure. Now DeVorza Buckner is shaken up on the play. And that's a huge potential loss for the Colts. And not only that, it forced the Indianapolis Colts to use a timeout that they potentially could have or would have saved. It's now 2nd and 6, time running. Tua to throw. He'll actually go on the run. That is caught, and he is short a few inches. And it all went well until there was a flag on the play by the Indianapolis Colts. And it's a flag on Neville Gallimore for encroachment on his first play of the season. And he may have made just the biggest mistake of the game. It's 3rd and 5. Colts out of timeout, so realistically they actually have one, and they make a big play. It's a loss of yards on the Dolphins, loss of 5. The Colts used their final timeout to try to make something happen with under a minute left to go. And the Dolphins have to kick a field goal. If it's good, they're up by 3. It's up, and it's right between the uprights, up the middle, and it's good. The Dolphins will go up 20-17 with only about 40 plus seconds left to go for the Colts. So for this one of these cases where it's big time Anthony Richardson to see if he can make something big happen in a big way. This is going to be a return up the middle, and it's decent at the 29-yard line. And it's up to you, Mr. Richardson. 44 seconds to go. It's 2nd and 7. Richardson backing up the middle. That is caught by Pittman. He's rocked, but he'll get the first down. Schrader has to get to about the 30, about the 40-yard line. Time is running for the Colts. Richardson backing up the throw to the left side. One-on-one. That is intercepted. Picked off by the defense. And the game is over. And it is Jack Jones, one of the backup corners that in place of Cater Coho has to play, and he made a big play for the Dolphins. Now, I want to point out Michael Pittman didn't even jump for the football. Well, he jumped a little bit, but not as high as Jack Jones, who mossed him on defense, and the game is over. The Colts lose on opening week. The Dolphins take a win 20-17. It was a close game mostly all the way through. I don't think you could have called this one either way or assumed either team would have won. Most people probably assumed the Dolphins would have blew them out. But if you're familiar with what happened in real life, the Colts killed the Dolphins. This isn't the case here this week. And why? And you could argue it's because Daniel Jones was not playing. We're not hitting on Anthony Richardson. He had a really good game. He threw slightly under 70% to a practically torched us with 77% completion. Obviously, the big interception by Andy Richardson, but I'm not really going to fault him for that because, you got to make big plays in a time like that, and really it's just one-on-one. You got to figure it out. I mean, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Devon Achane ended up winning the running back battle over Jonathan Taylor, who did struggle for the majority of the game to really get himself going. Achane ran the ball pretty well. Anthony Richardson, with the little bit he did well as well. I mean, he had a touchdown. So, I mean, you can't really complain. And he didn't fumble the football. Receiving Tyreek Hill with the most receptions with 7, by the way. And Molly Cox and Michael Pittman on our side got a lot of the touches, the bulk of the touches for us, by the way, each with 5. And let's not forget Jalen Waddle with the 2 touchdowns he had on the same route, by the way. And I don't know how we didn't cover him, but he's waddling like a penguin. He's one of the quickest guys there. Like that, Alec Pierce got a lot of touches. I want him to get majority, or not a majority, but a bulk of the playing time. Not over Josh Downs or anything, because Josh Downs wasn't really involved too heavily in the game. There were quite a few sacks on our side. Zach Sealer had 2 on us. We had a few. Jalen Jones and Cameron Bynum. I called him Andrew earlier. Cameron Bynum. Each had 1, and then we had, of course, the interception at the end of the game to Jack Jones. Let's look at what happened around the NFL for week number 1. Weekly recap. I do love the weekly recap and halftime report updates. They're pretty cool. And, I mean, if you weren't watching, The Colts end up losing this game. Big sack on Anthony Richardson, as the Colts end up losing a close one, 20-17. Ashton Davis with the big play, coming from practically midfield. And now look at the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. Micah Parsons, Packers debut, by the way. And Jared Goff, nice throw to the right side. Outruns a defender. He is tackled, but in the end zone. And the Lions end up taking the victory 18-14. Did not happen in real life. The Packers dogged the Lions in real life. And then we'll get the other NFC North matchup. The Bears taking on the Vikings. And he says, "Get off me," and makes his way into the end zone. And the Bears end up surprising the Vikings 17-16 in week 1. In a close one, by the way. And that'll do it for a weekly recap for week number 1. Pretty surprising victories and scores. I wanted to look at some other games around the league, and most notably being the Jets blow the Steelers out the water 32-6. 3 touchdowns by Justin Fields. I believe those 3 interceptions by Aaron Rodgers, and his return to MetLife Stadium does not go as planned. New Orleans gets the best of Arizona. Seattle loses to San Francisco. The Rams put up 27 against Houston. And our next matchup against the Broncos, they get the best of the Titans 21-7. Cam Ward did not look amazing in his regular season debut. Bo Nix looks like he hasn't missed a beat. And I'm actually pretty excited to play against the Broncos in Bo Nix, because the Broncos are a pretty interesting team. I also wanted to point this out. I didn't show what happened with the trade, but Rayshawn Jenkins is now on his 3rd team in this season alone. He was traded from Cleveland to the Jets, and I believe from Atlanta to Cleveland prior to it. So hopefully this guy can find a home. I hope he can stay on the Jets all year. I also wanted to point out, I never really talked about this schedule, but we don't have that many primetime games. The only big primetime game we have this year is a Monday night game against the 49ers. Other than that, most of our games are on Sunday around the same time, morning games. And the only other game is a 9 o'clock game against the Falcons. That is an international game. But other than that, the Colts don't really have any primetime games this year, which I found surprising when I actually picked them. We're going to take a look at this Broncos roster. It's a pretty fun roster if you ask me. Bo Nix leading the charge at quarterback. They have a really fun team core with Sutton, Bourne, Ingram, and Marvin Mims. And they were one of the biggest surprises last season, making it all the way to the playoffs. I believe they were the 7th seed. Don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure they're 7th seed. But the fact that the Broncos surprised everyone and made it all the way to the NFL playoffs says a lot about their roster. I think they got a pretty good offensive line, but the defense, I think, is the bulk of the threat of this team. Nick Bonito, Zach Allen, DJ Jones. They also got Dre Greenlaw, the former 49er Alex Singleton, and Patrick Surtain, who unfortunately for them is actually injured. So funny enough, we're taking on another team with a big name injured corner, so they kind of had to go to the bench for this one in the secondary, and we'll just jump right into week number 2 against the Broncos. Hopefully we can turn around our performance of week number 1 against the Dolphins. Just started to play a terrible game, but we also feel like that's a game that we should realistically have won, as it's back-to-back home games as well, so we need to get this crowd something to cheer for. And by the way, I noticed these all blue uniforms with the black helmet for the Colts. They actually look pretty good as we get underway for week number 2 against the Denver Broncos. This will be returned out of bounds at the 25. Now Bo Nix, who, by the way, 29 touchdowns last season for the Broncos. He had, dare I say, a hell of a year. First play is a handoff outside to J.K. Dobbins. He shakes off the defender, and he reaches for a pass midfield already. Very next play, handoff to J.K. Dobbins again up the middle, and he's down at the 35-yard line. He's already got 40 yards in just 2 rushing plays. And then the following play after that, Bo Nix to throw the football, but he'll run out the pocket very quickly, and he'll get the first down himself with his own legs. And Bo Nix has got some speed and a cannon. It's 3rd and 3 up the middle. That is caught upfield, first down. And that's Sheffield who makes the play. Sherfield. Up the middle, first down. Inside the 5. And Broncos looking to fire quick and fire fast. Play action fake. Up the middle. That is caught in the end zone. And that's a touchdown for the Broncos. And it's Courtland Sutton, the number 1 receiver on this team, who makes the big pass. A little hesitation there by the defense to get to Bo Nix. If they didn't hesitate, then it's likely potentially a sack. And the defense gets torched on their first drive, but up the field, up the middle is Jonathan Taylor with a big run down at the 35-yard line. He gets himself a nice first down. Didn't make a lot of noise last week, hoping to turn that around for week number 2. Following play, a handoff outside for Taylor, and he gets the first down, past the first down marker. Doesn't get quite into Broncos territory, but he's pretty much that much closer. It's now 2nd and 10. Play action fake for Richardson. Defense is there, but nice throw up the middle. And that's Mo Alley Cox who makes the catch. And now the Colts find themselves inside the 30. That is a great throw by Anthony Richardson. In a place where only he could get it. Then the following throw, again up the middle. And that's a first down. That's Josh Downs, who didn't make a lot of noise in week 1 either. And a big play in week 2. Now the Colts find themselves inside the 5, down at the 3. And the Colts looking to respond with 7 of their own. Play action fake for Jonathan Taylor, as there's the throw in the end zone for Mo Alley Cox. And both of them with their first touchdown of the season. For Richardson, it's his first passing touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown last week. And again with these celebrations, they gotta call flags on these. Mo Alley Cox getting a lot of touches. He's gonna be over-reliable. Tight ends are usually over-reliable anyways, so I mean, I take that statement back. But the Broncos back on offense. Nice throw up the middle. That is caught. Breaks off the tackle. That's Evan Ingram, who's looking to resurge his career in Denver. Kind of love to see the former Giant do well on a new team, as he's taking out the 47. Next player follows up what they pass to the left side. And that's Kendrick Bourne, who makes the catch on the wide receiver screen. 3rd and 3 for Bo Nix. He'll run out the pocket, call his own number. He's taken down. Doesn't fumble the football. And he's got pretty good hands. But now they're inside the 20. Matter of fact, inside the 15. Now 2nd and 7. Bo Nix up the middle, and his back is completely blown out by Kenny Moore. And now it's 3rd and 7. Needs to stop. Has to rush the throw, and the defense is there. Loss of 2. Zaire Franklin involved in that play. Broncos make the field goal. Now 10-7. Outside handoff to Taylor. That could have went a lot worse. Instead, he manages to get half the yardage needed. New set of downs. It's now 2nd and 12 for the Colts, and that is a throw behind the line of scrimmage for Taylor. It's a loss of 4. Alex Singleton is there to make the throw. Now 3rd and 16. Colts have a bit of work to do, and it doesn't matter because he sacked is DJ Jones. And I credited this defense earlier about how stacked it was in the front 7. Bo Nix, nice throw up the middle. That's for Marvin Mims. I mentioned him earlier. He does not wear 84, ladies and gentlemen. He wears number 19. But Denver back inside the 10. 3rd and 3. Throws it outside, and that's a big tackle by Zaire Franklin. And that's a first down and potentially a touchdown if he doesn't make that tackle. So the Broncos have to kick another field goal. And it's good. But there's laundry on the field, and it's on Indianapolis for roughing the kicker. And Mr. Jalen Jones, you made another mistake. But the Indianapolis Colts defense holds out. It's now 3rd and goal. Need a big stop here. Bo Nix trying to route the pocket, and he's taken down. And that's Cameron Bynum with a huge tackle, and the Broncos will have to kick another field goal anyways. Great job by the Colts defense to hold out. The field goal is good, and you gotta give credit to that Colts defense. They did their thing. 1st and 10, we're in the second quarter, up the middle, deep downfield. That is caught. Alec Pierce downfield inside the 10. We didn't see these big plays last week outside of the throw by Michael Pittman. That's a dot by Anthony Richardson. One-on-one. Great thing about facing off against this team is they don't have the best secondary, especially without Patrick Surtain. We can kind of flow free with passes like that. Play action fake. Richardson the throw to up the middle. That is caught in the end zone for Michael Pittman. And the Colts looking to take the lead. Tied it up with that touchdown. And the catalyst is that big play to Alex Pierce earlier. Nice throw on the run by Anthony Richardson, looking to prove his worth in Indianapolis. It's now 2nd and 5. Colts back on defense. Hand off to Dobbins. He's caught. And he's got 46 yards. Remember when he had 40 yards on 2 rushes? He hasn't done anything since. The defense adjusted. That's what we want to see. 3rd and 5 for the Broncos. Nice throw up the middle. And that's for Marvin Mims. Javarius Ward just slightly behind him. Couldn't make the play and bat the ball away or really anything like that. As the Broncos move the chains. And we're going to see our guys make mistakes. Jalen Jones. But a new set of downs for the Broncos now. As we're trying to close out the second quarter. Outside hand to J.K. Dobbins. This is what I get for talking smack about him. As he gets all the way into the second level in Colts territory. It's now 3rd and 10 though for the Broncos. Bo Nix trying to buy some time. He does run out the middle, but he is taken down. Zaire Franklin there again. He's made a lot of plays. The Denver Broncos kick another field goal. They make it. Now they're only up by 2. Throw up the middle. Nice play by Alec Pierce, who shakes off the defender. He reaches the 46. And that's another big play by the 3rd string court receiver Alec Pierce. And there's a throw downfield to Pittman. He makes the grab inside the 5. And another deep shot by the Colts. Again, I mentioned this secondary is not supremely strong with no Patrick Surtain, and the Colts are proving just that. As Richardson doing what he wants, throwing his ball deep. This is the second big throw he's made for Michael Pittman, by the way, obviously against the Dolphins. But the Broncos defense looking to hold out. It's 3rd and goal now. A stop would still give the Colts the lead, but it doesn't matter as Jonathan Taylor makes his way into the end zone and gives the Indianapolis Colts the lead right back. Had a touchdown last week. It looks to continue that trend this week, as it's now 21-16. As we head into halftime, Colts hold the lead, looking to get their first win of the season. Broncos looking to prevent that. And now we'll look again at what's going on around the league here in week number 2. And we kick things off looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers, who got dogged last week by the Jets. And that looks to be a continuing trend. There's a nice run up the middle, destroying everyone's ankles. And the Steelers get shut out 28-0 by the Seahawks. What is going on here in Pittsburgh? They now have 6 points total in 2 games. Now look at the Patriots and the Dolphins. And the Dolphins hosting this one. Tua Tagovailoa in motion. He'll throw it to the left side. And that's a nice catch. And the Dolphins are now 2-0. Back-to-back games with us and the Patriots. Drake May had a really good game, but it was not enough to put over the Patriots. And the final game to look at is the Bills taking on the Jets. In some heavy rain, heavy fog, by the way. Bet you probably can't see, but that doesn't matter to Mr. Josh Allen, who makes a throw to the right side, and he's wide open. 21-10 victory over the New York Jets. New York Jets cannot continue the trend of winning. Well, the Bills are up 2-0, which, what would you expect? Other games around the league, what's happening around the league? Well, the San Francisco Giants are leading the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Baltimore Ravens, Saints, and the Baltimore Ravens are blowing out the Browns 28-6. As for this game, it's been mostly all offense. I mean, 47 combined points. 37. Sorry. 37 combined points in the first half. Gotta be crazy. The Colts have the ball now, 3rd and 6. Molly Cox breaks the contact, and he makes it into the second level and into Broncos territory. Look at the stats for Richardson. He's only got 2 incompletions in this entire game. 11 for 13, already past 200 yards with that catch. Which great play by Molly Cox, and you see probably why we started him. He's making some big plays when it matters. 1st and 10. Richardson trying to buy some time. He makes his way out the pocket, and he gets upended, but he's already out of bounds, so unfortunately it wouldn't count as a fumbling if he did drop the football. 3rd and 1 now at the 27. Hand off to Taylor. He's up the middle. He loses the football. It's picked up by DJ Jones, and he's got room to run. Richardson needs to catch him, and he will. And the Broncos get the ball back with a huge fumble by Jonathan Taylor. Remember, he did that during the preseason. And you gotta question his protection of the football. It's not a bad hit. That's actually a pretty decent hit by the defense. And the Denver Broncos will take control, trailing by 5. A touchdown will give them the lead right back. Nix up the middle. That's caught by Cortland Sutton. Can't escape Kenny Moore, however. He is there to make the play. As the Broncos continue to move the chains, they're not missing much of a beat. They haven't played that bad either. I mean, they have 16 points, but they're moving the ball downfield. They're now inside the 2, 3rd and goal. Nix will throw it away. In the end zone, and is caught by Cortland Sutton. Kendrick Bourne in the end zone, and the Broncos will retake the lead after losing it near the end of the first half. And they're going to go for 2 and try and make it a 3-point game. Nix all alone in the backfield. He'll get rid of it to Bourne again, and he won't reach that place. And he's injured on the play as well. But now Denver only leading by 1. It's not the lead that they wanted, but it is a lead. As we are 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter, Colts did nothing on their drives, and now the Broncos get the ball right back with 2 minutes left. 3rd and 11, right side wide open downfield, and that's caught for a 1st down. And they're in Colts territory again. This Denver Broncos offense is going absolutely insane. Outside to Evan Ingram, who makes a move, and he's in the end zone, and that's his 2nd touchdown, by the way, of the game. And now all of a sudden the Broncos are leading 28-21. And a bad coverage on that out route. Can't do much about that if you're not running the right way. So now it's the 3rd quarter. Indianapolis trails by 8, looking for a running back screen for Diggins, and he'll manage about 7 to make 3rd down a little bit more manageable. They do convert. It's 1st and 10. Hand off to Diggins, and he's stuffed. Loss of 6. Very next play, 2nd and goal. Anthony Richardson will throw the football, trying to buy some time, going deep downfield. That is picked off. Intercepted, shakes off, almost shook off the tackle by Pittman. And I don't think that's a terrible throw at all by Anthony Richardson, but that might change the entire game. As we reach the end of the 3rd quarter, Denver not only has the ball, but they're up by 8, and they can realistically build on this lead that the Colts have practically gift-wrapped them. And now the Broncos start off the 4th quarter with the football. Play action fake by Bo Nix, and he's finally taken on the ground. And it's Grover Stewart with a loss of 6, and there's the play we needed on the 2nd-year quarterback. It's now 3rd and 17. Bo Nix will run out the pocket, call his own number, and he almost gets the 1st down had it not been by the contact from Kenny Moore, who saves the play and the drive. And they just missed that tackle. Zaire Franklin, who's been there for a lot of plays, misses the tackle. And that, like I said, likely would have been a 1st down otherwise. Colts get the ball back, 1st down to the right side. That is caught by Michael Pittman Jr. McMillan couldn't quite get there to make the play. The 1st down. The Colts keep the drive going. Following play, outside handoff to Taylor. He can do this. He reaches the second level and is dropped near midfield for another Colts first down. Over 9 minutes left. Taylor play action fake yet again to the left side upfield. That's incomplete. Overthrows him. It's now 3rd and 6. Apologies for showing up the player all the time, but just have it. Up the middle to the right side, that is caught by Pittman. They're going to give him the first down. I don't think he got it, personally, but they're going to give it to him anyways. The Colts offense sticking with it. They've been playing well. Handoff to Taylor up the middle. Great blocking. He's untouched until after he reaches the first down plane. It's now 3rd and 7. The Colts, as long as they don't turn the ball over, can guarantee themselves a field goal. But you know, it's not what they want. Throw out the middle. That is caught by Adonai Mitchell, the backup receiver. His first reception. There's a few injuries on the field. And hopefully they're okay. They're a bit shaken up. 3rd and goal. Colts want to score. Richardson trying to buy some time. He finds Taylor underneath, and he's in the end zone. As the Colts look to tie this game up on potentially the game-saving drive for the Colts. Great job by Anthony Richardson. Stayed poised, didn't let the lights get too bright on home stadium. And that's probably a foul ball, Jonathan Taylor. But hand off to him, and guess what? I take that back. 2-point conversion, and they tied the game up with a little over 5 minutes left. There is a Colt shaking up on the field. It's Goncalves, and hopefully he'll be all right. As the Broncos, with 5 minutes left, get the ball, and J.K. Dobbins is taken out by Chad Muma. It is now 2nd and 13. And Calvas is okay. He will return to the game at some point. 2nd and 13. Bo Nix to throw the football, and that's intercepted. Chad Muma, and he makes back-to-back huge plays for the Colts defense. And that's one of the few mistakes that Bo Nix has made all day. He's been pretty consistent. He's been really good at protecting the ball, not throwing it into dangerous situations, but that time he just forced it. Late coverage by Chad Muma on Kendrick Bourne. And he's right there to make the play. The first interception on the year for the Colts. Remember, they led the preseason with interceptions with 7 total. So they have the ball. Nice handoff to Taylor. Puts a man on skates. Still on his feet with a stiff arm. He's inside the 10. And that's a first down. He reaches 100 yards on that play. Big one. The Colts can now waste a bit of clock now, as it's another handoff to Taylor. He's upended. And with the injury on Zach Allen, I think one other player, that forces the clock to stop. So they can't reach the 2-minute warning. The Colts will make the field goal anyways. Now they're up by 3. Broncos with 2 minutes left. 3rd and 1. They do get it. They need to get in within field goal range. They can't afford to waste too much time, but they have the timeouts to do it. Nice run by J.K. Dobbins, who had a great start. Hope looks to finish a bit stronger. 2nd and 11. Under 1:30. Bo Nix to throw. He's sacked, taken down to the ground. And that is, I'm sorry if I say his name wrong, Tui Molalu. I'm pretty positive I said his name wrong. Even though I said it right opposite last time. But 4th and 20. Going downfield. That's incomplete. And a big play, big time defense. The defense steps up. They've been doing that pretty much all game. Kenny Moore is there to make the play. No flag. And the Colts, if they get a first down here, they will do it for Giddens, and they will get it. Diggins. Sorry, I keep messing his name up. And the Colts will get their first victory of the regular season, 32-29. Both close games against the Broncos and the Dolphins. Look at the stats for both quarterbacks. They both played really well. Those similar stats, similar completion percentage, and the same touchdown interception ratio. I mean, it's about as even as you can get, evenly offensive as you can get. Jonathan Taylor and even J.K. Dobbins had quite the matchup on the ground. It was just all offense. but the defense did not play all that bad either. I mean, they pretty well. J.K. Dobbins even had a lot of receptions. He got the bulk of the touches realistically for Denver all day. Alec Pierce reaches 100 yards in this game. That's him playing really well. Fortunately, again, Josh Downs doesn't get a lot of the touches this time around, but he'll make his name for himself in this series, I swear. Amari Cox played really well too. As for the defense, big time for defense. Zaire Franklin with the most tackles. He definitely was a force to be reckoned with, even though I don't really agree with his opinion on Justin Herbert not being a top 5 quarterback. But Malau saves, I'm saying his name wrong again, saves us with that big sack, and Chad Muma with that huge interception to basically close things out for us. The defense comes out and wins us this ball game. And we got to know what happened around the rest of the league before we close out this episode, because let's be honest, it's getting pretty close. This is a long one, guys. Sorry. Hopefully I can be better at editing these and making these a little bit shorter. But the Broncos ended up losing this game with an interception to Chad Muma, and the Colts win 32-29. Outside of that, Bo Nix and Randy Richardson both had amazing games on the passing front. And now we'll head to MetLife Stadium, as we kind of already know what happened in this game. The Bills ended up taking this one. The only thing I'm going to hate is that they're going to keep showing the same scores from time to time, but a nice run up the middle. Josh Allen and the Bills practically killed the Jets 21-10. That shows the Jets offense didn't really do a whole lot really worth noting. And then Jacksonville, they take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Hopefully Joe Burrow gets a speedy recovery in real life. But Joe Burrow is going to find his man on the left side of the field. Nice strike. It's actually up the middle. And one-on-one coverage, he says, "Gets off me." And he makes a man miss. And he's going to make his way all the way into the end zone. And the Jaguars lose 21-17. And of course, you got to look at the other games around the league, because naturally, these aren't the only games that actually happen. It's something I do like to do every single week. Something to note, the Green Bay Packers actually lose to the Commanders. Chicago got the best of Detroit, which is a bit surprising. The Rams and Titans, who will both play both of them in the next episode, because we're doing 2 weeks every episode. The Rams end up barely taking that one. See the Jets lose again. The Pittsburgh Steelers get dogged by Seattle, which I think is a surprise. Kansas City gets bested by Philly, which might be a reoccurring theme. And the Houston Texans end up losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that's kind of a surprise how poor the Texans have kind of been lately. But a better look at this game. Cam Ward had a better week 2 than he did week 1. We're going to be playing against the Titans and Rams in weeks 3 and 4 respectively in the next episode. So I'm trying to keep the whole 2 weeks per episode thing to make these go a little bit faster. The next upload won't take as long as this one. I know I say that all the time when I uploads, but this time it's going to be the case. But that will wrap up episode 2 of the Indianapolis Colts franchise. I hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed playing and recording. Like I said, these episodes won't take as long as they did. As of this, I'm recording. As of editing, I'm recording this episode now. I hope to see you guys next time. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see something different and more of this, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.